Hello everyone, in this video we'll talk about business as a foundation of your business plan or your e-commerce business. Because when you start a business, you need to know the basics of a business, which is three basic functions: marketing, operations, and finance, and how to use them into a strategy. Our topic for this video is the three functions: marketing, operations, and finance, and an introduction on business administration, management, and to use them into a strategy, which is the last topic of this video. Let's first discuss business. Business is a system that generates value more than it costs. Please take note of the keyword here. Business is a system. A system is synonymous to a set of gears that when one moves, all other gears moves. So take note that business is not just making decisions on one aspect. It's like making decisions and weighing the consequence of that decision in other aspects. So for an instance, you made a marketing plan. You need to follow that marketing plan into a corresponding operations plan and finance plan. So that is a system for you. So a system, again, is where business decisions are analyzed and executed based on systematic impact and consequences they have. The most important aspect of any starting business is the entrepreneur, the one who creates and manages a sustainable business. So let's dissect this definition. First, the entrepreneur creates. So the entrepreneur thinks of an idea based on a problem and then creates a business out of it. An entrepreneur also manages that business, and management is a function of planning, which is setting objectives, it means, and the allocation of resources. It also involves organizing, identifying, subdividing, grouping, or coordinating tasks, and then staffing, which is part of the operations plan. It involves recruitment, selection, assignment, and development of people. And then you need to know how to communicate and influence those staff to lead them into the objective of the business or the vision of the business. And then lastly, it's about controlling, monitoring, evaluation, and corrective action. Because in any business, you need to have goal congruence. It is a scenario where the personal objective of your staff is similar to the objective of the business and also the entrepreneur. The risk of any business in terms of management is that your staff has a different interest, different from the owner. So you need to have at least a monitoring tool and an evaluation on how to correct the action in order to achieve the vision or the objective of the business. Also, the most important part of being an entrepreneur is to learn how to make a sustainable business. Creation of a business doesn't stop there. An entrepreneur needs to manage it in an ongoing concern. You want to have a long-term business, and sustainability is a big factor. In reality, 9 out of 10 business fails. So 90% of businesses never get past the second or third year. So it is important to learn how to manage and how to use the basic functions of a business in order to attain sustainability. And lastly, entrepreneur is the one who manages a business, which is again a system that generates value more than it costs. Now, the basic tenets of economics is founded on these factors of production, which is land, labor, capital, and technology. Before, an entrepreneur needs to have a physical land in order to have that physical business, needs to have laborers. So people would work for that entrepreneur, for that business. He needs capital in order to fund the business. Lastly, the entrepreneur has to have that technology in order to start a business. That's the business secret. But that was before. Now, with the advent of technology, internet technology, you can start business even without land. Just use the freely available technology nowadays. Facebook, the free websites, other free platforms that you can sell. You can People doesn't need that much capital in order to start a business. In fact, I have students that start with a few thousands, and then grew the business into a big business now. And technology, before you need to purchase a licensed one, but nowadays, because of the free and open innovation, platforms such as selling platforms can be accessed even without costs. Now, the most important aspect of a business now, which is I've discussed previously, is labor, and that is the entrepreneur. And that entrepreneur entails a lot of risks, and that's the reason why 9 out of 10 businesses fail. So when you start a business, it's basically a risk management endeavor where you need to minimize risks in order to minimize the failure or increase the probability of success. So what are these risks? First risks in starting up business is market risk, which is there is no market, and the market is not big enough, or there's really no need for that business. A lot of starting entrepreneurs start with the product development rather than developing the market, meaning they put time and effort in building the perfect product or service to sell, but when they actually sell that product or service, no one wants it. That is market risk. Selling something that no one wants. And what are the tests in order to spot weak ideas? First, is the concept unique without being relevant? You don't want to start a business just by being unique and without adding value to your customers. So this is the reason why you need to find ideas that is based on true problems of your customers. You don't want to just offer an added feature for a product that your customers don't want. And that is related to your number 2 question. Are you investing in a cost that does not add value? It should add value in your customer, in your market. So let us use a concept, an example. Let's take a case of a barbershop. You don't want to start a barbershop concept with just a free juice or free meal. It's just for that barber service. You want to add value without adding too much costs, and that value should address customer problems. And being in a barber shop, customers want to have a haircut, and adding such feature, a free meal, free drink, would never add value. It would add more in the cost side of your business rather than offering so much value. Maybe you could start a queuing service if you happen to have a barbershop wherein customers would line up. A queuing service where your barbershop would notify them in case their um, they would be the one to be serviced. The third question: are you guilty of a lower price, higher cost business model? This is the common error of any starting entrepreneur. You want to lower the price so that you can attract demand, but you offer higher cost products or service. You want to pick one, either offer higher cost, which would lead to higher quality, or offer lower price, so that you can get the people that is discriminating on in terms of price. Quality and cost are inversely proportional. So when you start a business, choose only one, and you can never pursue both strategy, offering higher quality, which is higher cost, and lower price. The fourth one, will customers prefer the status quo than change your preference in your favor? You know, businesses and entrepreneurs shouldn't be fortune tellers. Their ideas usually are full of biases. Entrepreneurs should be detectives. They should know how much pain that their problem should be solved by your product or service. You need to know the customer preferences in order to find the best ideas, which is based on the problems of your customers. So when you ask these questions on your business idea, a no answer in just one question would give you weak business ideas. So use these questions in building your business ideas when you're starting a business. And then next risk in starting up is product risk. Can the product and service can be made? You don't want to offer something that is highly desirable in the market, but you don't have the expertise to actually produce it. For example, you offer medicine for a disease that that doesn't have a cure yet. For example, AIDS or cancer. For sure, that product would generate the highest demand possible. But the question is, can you produce that medicine? So be sure to think of product or services that is within your realm. And if you don't have that expertise, at least you know someone in your team that could have that technology in producing such kind of innovation. Next is competitive risk, which is overcoming your competition. If you think building a business could never topple your competitor, it's better to pick a different idea. But you can use this to your favor, wherein you build a business, and then when your competitor notices it, you'll try to sell your idea to your competitor. Similar to what technology apps are now doing. They build inventions, and then when they gain traction in the market, they try to sell the biggest player in the market. Just like the perfect case of Instagram and Facebook. Instagram before was owned by a different entrepreneur other than the owners of Facebook, and then when Instagram gained traction, Facebook bought Instagram, and then they cashed out on that merger. Now, financial risk. Can you sustain the downtime in the startup stage, or can you sell more than you produce? Basically, in any business, failure is inevitable. The development stage is a stage where customers are that high enough to sustain your business. You need to know how to manage it, how to have a runway to prepare for that downtime? Can you sustain that? That is one risk. Because in starting a business, in case of e-commerce businesses, you're finding a business model that is not proven yet. So you need to have a runway, resources to spend in order to find the perfect demand, the right customers, and the right timing for your business to succeed. And then let's go into the business management. Let's try to simplify business management in a few slides. The basic functions of a business is three, which is operations, marketing, finance, and strategy is about using the three factors in achieving your long-term goals, your vision for the business. So operations in a very brief definition is about creation of value. That is why it involves process, which is what are the steps needed in order to manufacture or deliver a service. You need to know the quality of your product or service, which is quality is based on customer requirements. Quality is never about the best practice in your industry. If you're offering a service, it's not about the best, the market leader, and try to benchmark with them. It's about your customers. What are the requirements? What are the expectations? And that is your definition of quality. In operations, you also talk about capacity, especially for manufacturing business. How many can you produce? In service business, how much can you accommodate in your store? Or in e-commerce business, how much can you deliver? And lastly, it's about inventory. Inventory is about storing your products and services and managing it for your cost efficiency, because storage involves cost. There are storage fees and then spoilage. You need to learn how to manage inventory. That is part of operations. It's about creation of value. Other aspects of operations, it's about product development, and then the systems involved in managing the process quality, capacity, and inventory. That is why in operations, in big corporations, usually involves systems, information systems, and how to manage the business. And then marketing. Marketing, in simple terms, is about getting value for the product you created in the operations. So it involves segmentation of your market. You need to learn how you can classify your customers according to their characteristics. Segmentation techniques are first geographic. You need to classify according to their location, and then you have demographics, their age, gender, and then you have behavioral. It's the reaction to several events such as seasons, dates, and then you have psychographics, which is about lifestyle. And then when you segmented your market, there are no rules in segmentation. It depends on your initial target, which is based on the problem you have initially identified. You target people that has higher chances for success in terms of probability, ease of connection, and then the market size. And then you position yourselves according to your competition. This is where branding comes in. And then lastly, use a marketing mix. This is the basic of marketing, which is picking the products to sell, how much is the price, where to sell it, which is the place, and lastly, how can you educate the market, which is the promotions. And then the last function of a business is finance, which is funding value, funding your marketing, funding your operations, which is the source of your funding. That is finance. Where would you source it? It could be based on your personal savings. That is all right. It could be based on creditors. You borrow money from banks, borrow money from your friends, relatives. It could also be based from investors. These are venture capitalists who gives money to businesses in exchange for some shares. And then there are angel investing, similar to venture capitalists, though they don't demand shares. They just want to have that feeling of helping starting entrepreneurs. There's also fund management in finance, which is how to allocate your resources. Because the assumption of a business has scarce resources, and when you manage a business, you need to know where to allocate in order to obtain your objectives. And lastly, the bulk of finance is about reporting to agencies such as Security and Exchange Commissions, Bureau of Internal Revenue, or Department of Trade and Industry. It's about building your financial statements, such as a balance sheet, the income statement, and cash flow. This is a very big topic to discuss, but that's the basic three financial statement to start with in finance. Now, let's talk about strategy. And strategy is about how to use operations, your marketing, and your finance in order to achieve your objectives or your vision. Now, strategy has many interpretations. Strategy is about a choice, and a choice of doing something that is different with regards to your customers and your competitor. Now, strategy is like going to point B from point A, and your travel could be in many forms. You could, for example, you're going to from one place to another. You could use train. You could ride a bike. You could ride a motorcycle. You could ride a car, or use a train, or any means of transportation. The choice is yours. And if your vision is to get to your destination, it's a choice of what mode of transportation to pick. Now, strategy is also like playing sports, playing team sports. You don't want to play just for the sake of playing. You want to play to win the tournament. You want to be the champion, and that's what strategy is all about. It's how to win in the industry, in the market, at the expense of your competitor. Now, strategy, it's not just to play again, but to win, and it's about making choices. Strategy is not more than making a choice. It's choosing not to do strategy of others, or picking battles different from your competitors. It's about making choices, and making choices not to do a strategy. It's the misconception of strategy is like, when you create a strategy, I would achieve the long-term vision, or I would win at the expense of my competitors. Strategy is not like that. It's about increasing the odds of success. As I mentioned earlier, business is about risks, and when you start a business, uncertainty is super high, and you need to at least mitigate that risk, and the strategy is one factor to mitigate that risk, which is, we've discussed earlier, the financial risk, product risk, competition risk, and then the market risk. It's a cross between rigor and creativity. There are no rules in strategy. Well, you have the corporation code or the Philippine law as a start, but you have the free hand in creating any strategy that you want. The bad side is there's no free lunch. Failure is inevitable, and you need to have that rigor, that perseverance, in order to find the best strategy. Because no businessman or entrepreneur creates a good strategy at his or her first try. So you need to have an inquisitive mindset and create hypotheses and tests in order to find the best strategy at the expense of your competition and based on your customers. Now, strategy can be described by these 5 basic functions or order. This strategy method is based on the Play to Win strategy by Roger Martin of the Harvard Business Review. So it's about creating a winning aspiration, picking where to play, and choosing how to win, and then building capabilities and management system in order to learn how to win. So let's go through them one by one. A winning aspiration is similar to your vision. It is a winning aspiration is a future-oriented statement about the organization's guiding purpose. Playing to win starts with people rather than money and has a competitive dimension. Always, people is the most important aspect of a business, because people have free will, and it's difficult to manage people. So winning aspirations start with people, and by inspiring people, you will have help in going to that vision or the winning aspiration. It's not about being or earning so much money. It's about motivating that staff with a principle about winning the battle, that the industry, and giving that self-esteem to that to yourself and your staff, and then money being the result of that motivation. So winning aspiration is a long-term view of your business. One way to have a good winning aspiration or a vision statement is that have this exercise with you. Daydream about your business 5-10 years from now, and see or describe what would you see in your office, what awards you would earn, what reviews would customers say to you, what would your people say to you in your business, and then how much market share would you earn through that motivation, and then through that that vivid description of your business. So that's one way to look at it. What should you ask in building a winning aspiration? One is, what does your organization exist to do? This is similar to your vision and mission, or mission rather. And then, what does winning mean for us? So it could be defined based on what you think you should do, what values you need to show in order to win that market. Where to play? Yes, where to play is picking the best market. Similar to the segmentation component of marketing, it's like targeting the best set of customers for you to have the highest success possible. So it's a specific group of people as a target market. You need to choose one. It's best to choose one because you have focus, and it's better to predict that market because they behave in a homogeneous way. It's like having common traits, and they seek common benefits. It's easier to market to a focused group of people. It's the chances of success is higher as compared to targeting everyone. Because when you target all, you usually target no one, because you have a confused marketing messages in your campaigns, in your strategy. And then how to win. It's a choice about how a business will win on its chosen playing field. Now, this is similar to the previous topic earlier. It's about choosing high quality and low price choices. So what is the organization's competitive advantage? Let's define competitive advantage as a unique trait of your business as compared to your competitors that is not easy to copy, and you have the first mover advantage on that aspect. And how does you compete on low cost, which is similar to low price, and differentiation. So common misconception on low cost is that it's low price. Now it's different. Targeting low price strategy but having not the lowest cost could result in a failed business. Why? Because when you engage in price wars with your competitors, usually the business with the lowest cost would win that market. So it's better to pursue low price if you have the lowest cost possible. Now, differentiation is about being unique, having a unique feature in your product or service that is not easily copied by your competitor. Now, how to build that low cost or differentiation strategy in order to have a competitive and sustainable advantage with regards to your competitors. First is low cost. When you pursue low cost strategy, it's about understanding your cost drivers, meaning what drives cost in your business, which is related to driving down the cost. You want to produce product or services at the lowest cost possible. So it involves driving down costs, being efficient in your operations, in your marketing, and being continuously improving in terms of bringing costs down or efficiency. You are also discriminating on your customers. So if people don't want your product, you don't pursue them. Just offer standard product or services. The perfect example of this in the Philippine context is the Philippine Airlines and Cebu Pacific competition. Philippine Airlines is on the differentiation side, which is being unique. That is why they charge more. As compared to Cebu Pacific Airlines, it's about offering the cheapest cost. They don't offer meals in their flights, and then customer service isn't a priority with them. So that is one way to offer the lowest cost, and which result to lowest price in the market. So the other choice in order to win the market is about differentiation. This is about being unique in your market, and that involves striving for deep understanding of customer needs. That is why branding is always important. Advertising about the perception of that brand. It's like the perfect example on this one is Apple products. You'll be quite surprised that people would line up just to have the first edition of whatever iPhone is being released. So people would line up hours before the first sale of that model, but they could buy that product the following day in all stores in around malls or everywhere. So that is a product of differentiation. They create cult following. They offer products that customers adore, and they put premium on relationship. Be mindful that pursuing low cost and differentiation involves different capabilities to build, which is the examples in these low cost and differentiation segments. So in order to pursue low cost or differentiation, you need to have capabilities. What critical skills and core activities must be performed at the highest level in order to achieve the advantage in each of our chosen spaces? Now, similar to the previous example, if you pursue low cost, you need to have skills in lowering down cost. That involves operations, expertise in process, inventory, or maybe in the quality. On the other hand, if you're pursuing differentiation, you need to have branding skills. You need to create campaigns that would result in perception on your target market with regards to the product or service you're offering. And then in order to pursue that the capabilities, you need to have an environment to house that capabilities in order to achieve that low cost or differentiation strategy. So what key management rules, processes, and structures must we have to support our capabilities? What type of organization you should have? What are the organizational structure? What are the policies? What is the culture? You need to build that in terms of in relation to the capabilities you need to build in order to pursue low cost or differentiation. And then strategy in the play to win framework, you need to start with the winning aspiration. What is your vision in 5-10 years? And then with that winning aspiration, choose a market that you think would have the highest chance of success, and then choose a strategy. It could be low cost or differentiation. It could be low cost at a certain market, could be differentiation in a small market or in a big market, but you need to choose one at the start. And then what capabilities do you need to build? In low cost, it could be efficiency, about operations more, and on differentiation, it's about marketing, branding, and learning more about your customers. That is your capabilities. And what management systems you need to build in order to pursue that low cost or differentiation? What type of organization? Is that corporation? What is the organizational structure? And then what type of staff do you need? So it involves building management system. It involves the planning, organization, controlling, and then the other management aspect of a business. And then when you build that management system, when you start to build that management system, it would result in building that capabilities which is needed in order to win that target market you chose. And that would lead you, hopefully, in a winning aspiration, achieving that vision, long-term vision, which is the entrepreneur should do to create a sustainable business. So a quick recap on what we've discussed in this video is about business, and business is about sustainability, starting a business that would last a lifetime. And that is a function of operations, which is getting value or creating value rather. And then you have marketing, it's getting that value from your customers. Finance is how to fund marketing and operations. And strategy is about picking the best ones for operations, finance, marketing, in order to achieve your long-term vision, which is your winning aspiration. And above it all, entrepreneur is the one that is the most important aspect when starting a business, because they are the one who creates, manage a sustainable business. So it's important to learn the risks of starting a business on the entrepreneur side in order for the entrepreneur to limit the failure rate and improve the chances of success.